Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land? I hope this finds you well. Lord have mercy. Here we go into April as hard as we can. The Easter bunny's done took off with all the eggs. Oh, we don't have anything special coming up this coming week, though, that I could see. Do you know of anything?
Next holiday is May 31st.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
We're on a sabbatical for the holidays. Lord. Let's see who all we got out there in the chat tonight. We got Jim Bashir's out there. We got Russ Meadows out there. We got Jaden the guy out there. Harnell Media or Harnell Media. I'll get it right one of these days, Steve. I promise I will. And I think that's all that's in there right now. Y'all share this out. We're going to have a giveaway after a bit. And the more people we get in there, the more fun it is. So
it's been a while since we saw Russ Meadows. It's good to see everyone in the chat, of course. But
yeah, always great to see everybody. And I hope Russ is taking care of everything there in Texas and keeping it under control. Mother's Day comes before Memorial Day. So we do have Mother's Day coming up. Not that that means anything to me.
Well,
my mother's gone.
Opening day of minor league baseball in Harrisburg is the 11th of May. I'll take that.
I mean, my next holiday will be Memorial Day.
Yeah. Jaden, the guy's here. Hi, Jaden. Did we say hi to Jaden?
I did.
You did? Okay. It just popped up. And Brenda,
yes.
I'm sorry to say that 30 seconds after the show launch is when I pressed the like button. So I did not press the like button before the show as usual.
Bless your heart.
Chat room, I try very hard not to get a bless your heart, but some weeks it's just not all gelling.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, it's turning spring here, trying real hard. We had a couple of really nice days, and then today turned off rainy and cloudy and in the 60s and just, not real pleasant. But hey, you got to take a few of those. I'd rather have that than have it at minus 20 degrees. So take what you can get. But yeah, I got serious with the diet Monday. My stomach has not been real thrilled about it, but hey, it got to play, and now it's got to pay.
Well, I mean, this is your week to kind of get things back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So a transition period is to be expected, I would assume.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to weigh this week. But then I decided yesterday, you better get back on the scales, see where things stand here. You're getting started with this. So I got back on the scales yesterday. I lost another pound. So it's 51 now.
Excellent.
And, take what I can get.
Happy almost birthday to Jaden. End of month is Jaden's birthday. So.
Well, it's coming up quick.
All right.
And I'll tell you what, the older you get, the faster they'll go.
Yeah.
The calendar will roll right back around before you know it. It's like, you're celebrating in the daylight, it gets dark, and then you're celebrating in the daylight.
My uncle asked me how old I was, and at the time I said, I'm 7.5. He's like, son, don't rush it.
Yeah. They used to tell me the same thing when I was little.
356 is here. Hi, Mr. Doughboy.
Hey, Mr. Doughboy. How's everything out on the East Coast? Hope you're getting everything under control out there. Maybe it's turning spring for you too out there.
Hey, everyone. Have you noticed how good Brenda's picture is on her video feed? 2 weeks in a row, I think she has it dialed in.
It's not the picture. It's just me.
But that very well could be.
I've been losing weight and
yeah.
I've got that special glow.
You're beating the men off of you. They're just throwing themselves at you. Yeah.
Oh, I try to stay away from them.
I think you try to stay away from all people, don't you?
Well, pretty much, yeah. But men especially, you know, I'm like, I see them coming. It's like,
like you know all the telltale signs. Like no one can slip anything past Brenda.
now I even know on my friends list, you know, there's ones that you can talk to, and then there's other ones that they send you a message, you just hit block. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Doughboy got the Nova out. Hey, all right.
Gonna go cruising.
Yeah. Get some wind through your hair. Nice.
Yeah, I told you that story about that Nova I was in that one time when I was a teenager, and he had that thing in between the front bucket seats there, lever thing, and I didn't know what that was. I'd never seen one of them before. And we'd been riding around for a good while, and I finally asked him, I said, well, look, you know, I'm just going to ask you right out, what is that lever? And he started laughing, and he said, that's the ejector button. He says, if you do something I don't like, I'll just pull that lever, and you're out of here. When I got home, I told my mother about that, and she says, oh, for crying out loud. She says, that's how they're making the parking brakes these days.
Jim Bashirs has a theory about your glow. He says the glow was from playing with too many uranium glass dishes.
Well,
movie? There's a documentary, Uranium Girls. They used to paint the watch hands.
Yep.
And it would glow. Mm-hmm. And they all started getting sick.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the gist of it.
No, the only dishes I got are Corelle.
When we order our dishes, I guess they come in a set of 4. So, of course, you buy double, you buy 8. And they didn't have the same style. And the lady that my wife was talking to about the order was like, we can send you a different style. And, oh, my wife flipped out. She's like, what am I going to do with 2 different styles of dishes? You know, you need to have them all match.
Well, see, you're doing it wrong. I don't go buy 2 sets. I buy 1 set and throw half of them away.
Okay.
Because I'm figuring, you know, I'll need 2. 1 might be in the dirty dish pile, and I don't want to have to wash that so that I can eat. You know, I'll just do a sink full of dishes at one time. So I might need an extra plate. All right. So
makes sense.
That, you know, and then if there's company coming, I do have paper plates.
I aspire to get to your level.
Yeah. And that way, you know, if there's company, I don't have to wash their dishes. Because the older I get, I think the lazier I get. You know, I don't want to have to do more work. I ain't making more work for myself. So, you know, they get done eating. There's the trash can. You can just throw your plate away.
Exactly.
So you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. We go through a lot. And I hate buying those paper plates because it's like $17. Well, we get a whole sleeve of them, you know.
Yeah.
We go at the bulk Costco store, or $14. And I get so upset. I'm like, I'm just throwing $14 in the garbage. Because,
well, how long do they last you?
Well, I don't know, month and a half, something like that. But
for crying out loud. You have too much company. Because I bought a sleeve of them things probably 10 years ago, still got them.
Well, I'll use plates. I especially like plates if something has a sauce, because I don't like the sauce dripping into the paper, and I want all of the sauce. So anything wet, I'll put on a real plate. And my wife's like, everything should go on paper as far as she's concerned. So it's sort of a little bit of a conflict there, but I mean, hey.
Well, that's what you get those styrofoam ones for.
Yeah.
They usually have little compartments and stuff in them. So then, you know, you put it in the compartment, and that way it don't run into all your other food.
Well, it's hard to find styrofoam. They're not selling it as much because people are worried about the environment and blah, blah, blah.
Well, see, I'd be out of touch on that because I ain't bought any in like 10 years.
Yeah. Paper paper. I'm trying to get away from foam and plastic.
And Jim says Brenda hasn't used all of her Christmas paper plates yet. From what year?
I think we have some like extra mini Starbucks cups that have Christmas on them. Like not the tall one, but like the short. Like anyway, we've got some paper products that are Christmas branded still.
I haven't used all my Christmas stamps yet.
Oh.
So, if I ever have to mail anything to anybody through, just a letter type thing that I put a stamp on, you're going to get a Christmas stamp till I get them used up. I'm close.
Lost a book of stamps. Can you believe that?
I've done that before.
I must have used 3 of them, and I'm like, where's the stamps? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I had to schlep down to the post office and buy more stamps. If anyone wants to sticker swap with me, speaking of stamps, that's where I'm at. I'm giving these out for free. Just let me know, and I'll mail them out. You don't have to swap me. I'll just mail you one if you want.
Yeah, I've got them too. Not his, but my own.
Oh, and Brenda, Brenda hooked me up with a handful of hers, and every time I do a mailing, I drop a BrendaG's designs in. So your stuff's going to all kinds of people you don't even know.
That's good. That's good. Get them out there. The people probably look at him and say, "Who the hell is this BrendaG person?" Of course, people see my videos and say the same thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, if it happens to get on that recommended list, and they say, well, this looks interesting, maybe we'll poke this, and they poke it, and then they get the howdy and the cowbells, and they're like, who the hell is this BrendaG person?
In fairness, on my template, I do put your show and a little blurb about what it is. So there is a reference. It's not just a sticker out of nowhere. I try, BrendaG. I try.
Shoot. Well, other than me just trying to do this diet thing and concentrating on that, I have done literally nothing this week. Mm-hmm. I did get my sticker for my car plates. I paid for that last week, and so they got me the sticker this week. I haven't got it on the car yet, but I got it.
Okay, well.
That's the exciting news at my house. That tell you how exciting things are here?
Yeah. I mean, not much exciting's happening here. I mowed the grass twice. I put down the pre-emergent weed stuff, and then I sprayed for weeds twice. So
my grass hasn't been mowed yet this year, and there's still tree limbs and stuff all stuck out in the yard that fell off the big trees out by the street. I haven't even talked to Tony about it yet. I'm gonna have to get that done, but I'm not in any big hurry. Everybody else around me's mowed their yard.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I sharpened the blade. I must have hit something because there was a huge gash in all blade, because I have like a double blade because it mulches, and on both ends of both blades was a big gash in it. But I got my sander out and I sharpened it, and thing's a razor blade now.
Those blades are expensive.
I've never bought a second pair. I just always sharpen the ones I have, and I take the hair off with it. That's how sharp it is. It's insane. The blades are perfectly cut. There's no fray. It's like someone snipped them with scissors.
And Jim Bashir says, mowed the grass already? Matt's one of those guys.
I am. Hey, listen, I got tired of throwing money at freaking ChemLawn. They'd come here, I'd get weeds, they'd spray only twice. They'd treat the lawn 6 times a year, but only 2 of the treatments were weeds. And they'd go away and they'd come back. And they'd go away and they'd come back. And I'm just like, there's got to be a better way. So I'm like, I'm going on YouTube and I'm going to figure this out. And I found a channel or 2 of nuts, lawn care. Actually, that's the name of the channel, Lawn Care Nut. That's the name of and he tells you everything you want to know. And he says, here's a PDF. You give me $20 to tell you step by step what to do. I'm like, fine, here's $20. And I've been following the routine ever since. And now I'm saving money.
I save money too, because I just mow off the weeds and pretend they're not there.
Well, once you start getting into it, there's something called a domination line, where your grass is immaculate next to your neighbor's that's absolute garbage, and you can see the line where it turns from garbage grass into your pristine. Like that's the goal.
Well, then the next thing I do is after I've mowed it and I'm pretending they're not there, I don't look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in total denial. I'm Cleopatra of the lawn care.
See, Jimbo says 3 times, you're one up on me, brother. Jaden says weird channel name. Yeah. Lawn care nut. Yeah. LCN is like the acronym, and he knows all about it. But really, there's only 3 things you got to do. Just 3. You got to repeat the step, but there's 3 actions that you do. You put fertilizer down, you do the pre-emergent, and then you spray for weeds. Oh, and the 4th thing is just mow all the time, because the more often you mow, it stresses out the plant, and the plant says to itself, I better grow fuller because I'm getting cut all the time. That's dangerous. So you stress it out, but you stress it out in a good way. So one technique to a better lawn is just mow it all the time. Like you can't mow it once a Saturday. That's too infrequent.
All right. Well, I've got 4 steps. I mow, I ignore, I don't look at it.
Not looking at it is a step.
That's a step. I don't look at it. And I don't mow all the time. I only mow when I lose the dog in it.
Well, we have 2 separate philosophies on this, Brenda.
Now, that's only because I'm in town. When I was in the country, I'd only mow when I lost a car in it.
Oh, Brenda.
For a while, it would hold up the car. Which was handy if you needed the blocks for something else. But
Niantic River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon snuck in. I don't think I said hi to you. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. We're talking about lawn care.
Well, there's just not much going on. I did see a hockey game the other week.
Yeah.
That was fun. They had limited seating, and no one was around you. They only had 3 concessions open, and they had a way where they'll bring the food to you, but I didn't quite figure that out. And yeah, that was fun. It was fun to see an actual live sporting event at the venue. And I was out with friends, it was cool. It was fun.
Sort of like Meghan Markle in the box seats at that game she went to. When she got there, and the box was all full of people, and she comes in, sits down, she says, okay, I'm here now. You all leave. Cleared the box.
Wow, that's harsh. That's harsh. I was in I don't often get in those boxes, but every now and then something happens where I can get lucky and get one. And the last time I was in the box, one of the players that was in the Super Bowl was there, and he was in the box next to me, and they brought him out on the ice, and he said hi to everyone because he had just won the Super Bowl. This was a couple of years ago, and then he went back up to the box, and I got my photo with him because you're just right there, because you could just kind of hop over the wall on the one part of it, and so yeah, that was neat. Those box seats are nice. They're nice, but see, you always have to find your way in. Like we used to go to one of the charities in town would have an auction, and the auction would be a box, and then all the administration staff of the school would go in on it, and I would go in on it with them. So we would all pay like $50, and there would be 20 of us, and then we would have the box so you can slide in on the cheap. And so I've done that, I think 4 times. We want part of that group.
I've only been to one Major League Baseball game ever in my life. Well, Major League anything. And that was the Reds. Somebody had some tickets, and it was all last minute where my husband worked, and they gave him the tickets, and it was that night. And so he called me up and asked me if I wanted to go to the game. Well, I'm not really a fan or anything, but I'd never been to a game before. I thought, it might be a cool experience. So I went with him down to Cincinnati and watched the Reds play one night.
Cool.
But
good Major League Baseball. That's fun. Things are expensive in the park, aren't they?
I don't even remember. I mean, this has been so long ago. I mean, he's been gone 22 years. If that gives you any idea, how long ago this was. But yeah. But Chris was talking about the yard. He says, I have a neighbor that just had his entire lawn, a third of an acre lot, replaced with patio pavers, and he's jealous. Now, I don't blame him. It was 5 years ago that I had my front yard covered in mulch, so I wouldn't have to mow the front yard. And it seemed like a great idea at the time, but see, you have to replace that mulch every year, and that gets expensive, and it's going up. And of course, with inflation, it's getting even worse. So this year we're going to redo it. We're going to put grass back down on it. I wish I could afford patio pavers because that'd be a good alternative. I've thought about sand.
Yeah. My one colleague who lives in Arizona showed us a picture of her backyard on the Zoom call that we were on, and she has a patch with artificial turf, because you can't water your lawn there. It's all water restrictions, and then stone around the outside. And then she has cobblestones in the one area where the grill, they have like a built-in stone permanent grill area. And so it was nice, but no living grass. It was just a patch of artificial grass so the grandkids can play, and they can do where you throw the beanbag in the
cornhole.
Yeah, they can play cornhole out there.
Yeah. Jim is saying that gas station mulch is cheap. Well, see, they'd have to bring it in by the truckload for my front yard. And they had it was a big flatbed trailer. They bring a big load in on, and the wheelbarrow it up and dump it and rake it out and all that. And it looked beautiful, but every spring you got to do it again. And last year I about died when I saw what the bill was for it. And I said, well, we're going to have to rethink this. When you're on fixed income, you're trying to cut the corners every place you can.
Hey, we bought the mulch that is chewed up tires, the rubber tires. Let me tell you, rubber can sit there in 10,000 years. It's still going to be rubber. Like, it's not breaking down.
I looked all over the place here for it, and I could not find it anywhere back when I first did this, because that was what I had in mind.
It's a genius product. People don't know we have too many tires going to waste.
Yeah.
Why not make them into mulching for landscapes? Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, they've tried using it on road repair. Didn't work out too well. They tried it over in Dayton, Ohio. And I don't know what they mixed with it or what they did, but it was like 2 years later, it was just falling apart, just crumbling.
Oh, no. See, now I heard they could make an asphalt with recycled tires. It was a little more expensive, but it was supposed to last 3 times longer.
Yeah, well, this stuff did not last. And there again, it's been many years ago. See, when I say just the other day or a while back, it can be any time between now and when I was born. But yeah, this has been, several years ago. But yeah, people in Dayton were not happy about that road falling apart after them just, having that done. So, I've been apprehensive about any of that. I do need to have my driveway redone, re-asphalted, but money's going to be tight this year, now that I got a car payment. So I doubt that's going to happen.
Today was my 24th payment when we redid our bed, the master bed. So we put that on a payment plan, and this was the last payment of that plan. So I'm like, okay.
I remember when I paid the van off and when I paid the house off, it was just within a few months of each other back when I was working and, made money. And I was ecstatic on both of them. I mean, it was like over the moon happy, you know, that I had those two great big bills paid off, because my goal was to get that done so that when I retired, I didn't have those bills anymore, because that van should have lasted me the rest of my life, no more than I drive. And, you know, now to be slapped as hard as I am, losing the van and back to a car payment and on fixed income, I'm like, boy, talk about a step backward over something that I didn't cause.
That hurts. That hurts hard. It's great not having a car payment. As a matter of fact, to accelerate wealth building, no car payment.
Yeah.
I mean, people just don't know how much $500 a month is. I mean, I know they know it, but do they really, like, the value that that $500 a month can earn you if you invest it is, it will blow people away. So rich people, they drive the beaters. They drive the, I told my son, I was like, you want to know where real wealth is? It's like, you go to the part of the neighborhood where they have like 4-bedroom houses, like not lavish palatial estates, just, but not like a little 2-bedroom rancher. You go to where there's about a 4-bedroom house and you look for the 8-year-old Toyota in the driveway. That's a millionaire right there. 9 times out of 10, you're right. Because that's the mentality. It's watch every penny, be wise with your money. You know, why dump $500 a month into a car payment when you can drive a beater that gets you from A to B and then invest that money elsewhere? So,
well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on who you are and whether you know how to work on them or not, and how much you want to be stranded, and you know, that sort of thing. I don't know how to work on cars. You know, that was nothing that my dad knew anything about. He knew how to farm. And so I wasn't raised around, you know, knowing how to do any kind of mechanical work. I know how to gas them up, change the oil in them, change the tire if I have to. And beyond that, you know, I could add transmission fluid if it needs that. But, you know, that's about it as far as I'm concerned. And I did not like ever having to be stranded on the road. That drove me insane. You know, whenever I go to a dealership or, you know, used car lot or whatever, and ask them about a vehicle, they say, well, what are you looking for? And I say, dependable.
Exactly. Hey, Robert Lee's here from Shalalala Productions.
Hey, Robert, good to see you.
He says, yeah, car payments and insurance are killer. And he says, man, if they accept cowbell as payment, we'd be golden.
Well,
Chris
you know,
says, I have not had a car payment in almost 20 years. We pay ourselves, and when time comes, pay cash. We also keep them at least 120,000 miles. That's what I do. I'm in it for the long game. The long game. And my last car, it was old. It was 10 years old, which, I mean, I know that's not super old, but that's a decade is a long time for a car. And my plan was to have it for 5 more years. And I accidentally hit a deer, and I totaled it just by like $600. Like if it would have been 600 less, they'd have fixed it. I had to abandon it. I was so upset.
Well, my van was 9 years old, only had 39,900 miles on it.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, it was going to last me the rest of my life with, you know, because I just don't drive much.
And I always buy used. I mean, because you buy new, you're throwing 10 grand right in the toilet. As soon as you drive off the lot, you lost what do they say? 12% instantly. It just goes down. So, but then the bad thing about buying used is then you hit that 50,000 mile mark quicker. And then you got to do the big maintenance. You've got to do usually the brakes and usually the big flushing of the weird things that don't normally need flushed, like the gasoline filter. I don't know. There's some weird stuff, like more expensive. That's an expensive maintenance. So
Yeah.
Once you
Well,
get,
they got these cars now, even, most of the newer used ones have all the bells and whistles and fancy stuff on them. When I got in this Beetle, I mean, it was like getting into some kind of a spaceship. It had all kinds of different dials and stuff on it that I'm used to seeing, and it's got stuff on there that, tells you things. And I'm not used to any of that kind of stuff. He had to explain to me for about an hour what some of that stuff was, and half of what he said I forgot. I'm still.
that's a gasoline car. It's a whole new world if you have an all-electric vehicle. Think about it. Zero fluids in except for windshield washer fluid. So the maintenance is it's a whole new world. There's hardly anything you need to do those cars.
I don't know what the hell I'd do with an electric vehicle, because don't you have to have like a special plug put in your garage for them things? So then you're out of an electrician having to come to hook stuff up and everything for you. There is no refill stations in this part of the world. So
there are probably more than you know.
Well, I looked it up on the map, and unless you're going there might be something up in Fort Wayne, but there's you have to go like to Indianapolis. I never go that far. Yeah. I mean,
Brandon the Pinocchio's here. Hello.
Hey, Brandon, good to see you. Haven't seen you in quite a while.
Did you see the new model they have of Tesla? It's called Plaid. Did you get that reference? It's from Spaceballs. So Spaceballs, they Dark Helmet was the Darth Vader knockoff of. It's a parody of Star Wars, and he's like, "Sir, we're prepared to go light speed." He goes, "No, light speed's way too slow." He goes, "Let's go to ludicrous speed." So that was like faster than light speed. And then that was too slow, and they wanted to go even faster. So they went Plaid. Bottom line is, Teslas have a ludicrous speed button on them now, which makes it go like insanely fast. It uses a lot of electricity, but of the batteries. But and then now they have a new model out, and the model name is Plaid. And the steering wheel is a yoke. It's not a round circle. Which is very odd. It might not even be legal, because like you have to do the hand over hand. Like you can't do that with a yoke. But they're doing it.
Yeah, I just can't even imagine, having something like that. I'm still having to look stuff up in the manual. And I finally mastered getting the trunk open.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, that thing is in a world all its own. You have to do a combination of things to get the trunk open. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. Ain't never anybody going to break into this thing, that's for sure. And nobody can crawl under it because it's right on the ground. So, it's got that going for it. But, as far as all the bells and whistles, I haven't got half the stuff figured out on it that it does, I guess. And he did sync my phone up to it when I bought it.
That's good.
So that I would have hands-free, phone rings, it just answers it. I don't have to hit nothing. It just, whether I want to or not. I mean, it could be somebody I ain't wanting to talk to, but if I'm in the car, that car is going to answer that phone. And I don't know that I'm real pleased about that. And here's how I found that out. You'll find this amusing. I'm in a car one day. Well, I'd been to the bank, and I talked to my banker about refinancing, because I wanted to get away from the bank that the dealership had hooked me up with, and I thought the interest rate was too high there. And so I talked to her, and she says, well, I will call the main branch, and I will have the loan officer for the auto loans get in touch with you. So I thought, okay, well, she'll call me either this afternoon or tomorrow or something. I left there to go run some more errands, and I hadn't gotten 3 blocks from the bank when the phone went to ringing. And I'd never had the phone ringing in that car before, so I didn't know how to answer it or how to do anything with it. It stops ringing. And I just kind of, glanced over at the phone, and I'm driving, so I can't really pay attention to what it's doing. And I thought, well, it must have been wrong number or something. They hung up. So I'm driving along, and somebody did some boneheaded thing out on the road, and you know how, you say things kind of under your breath when people do that. And I said something probably shouldn't have said. And all of a sudden, the car starts talking to me. And it is actually the phone.
They put the phone call through.
Because the phone call had come through. She was waiting for me to say hello.
Oh.
Well, hello is not what she got.
Oh, my. Arlene's here. Hi, Arlene.
Hey, Arlene, good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. She messed herself up the other day. She sent me a message and said that she'd hurt herself. So hope she's feeling better. And Jim Bashir's hurt himself too. Well, is this an epidemic?
I hope you're both feeling better. Yeah. Well,
those people hurting themselves. Lord have mercy. Yeah. Welcome to the Milestones in Brenda's Life Show. That's about the size of it. But yeah, I learned then that day. I learned real quick that was the fastest way to teach me something. Is if that phone rings, that car's going to start talking.
Oh no!
So you better be careful about what you say.
Good to know.
So it starts ringing, and I just start saying, "Hello, hello." I sound like a damn parrot. Hello, anybody there? Hello.
Yeah, I disable that car telephone stuff because they always say, "Oh, it's free for 3 months," but then you gotta pay monthly for it.
No, not on this one. This one just hands free.
It just brings your phone through.
Yeah, it just rings.
See, some of them have the satellite service that come with phone calls.
Yeah,
I don't.
This just brings my phone through, and he told me, he says, now if you take the cable, like the charger cable thing that you got for it, he says you take that cable, you plug it into the phone, then you plug the other end down here into the car, and then you can look at your contacts in your phone, and you can do all that up here on this touch screen thing up here. I've had that car, 7 months now. I have yet to take the cable out there and hook that thing up to it. Because I don't go any place where I'm gone that long that I'm going to need anything like that. The furthest I've gone is to the dealership, and that's about an hour and a half for me to get there. And that's another thing that kind of bugs me about this, is that there are no close VW dealers around here. You either have to go to Fort Wayne or Dayton.
Oh,
but
Arlene gave us like a synopsis of her ailments. Ribs, hand, and leg are healing, but the foot is crushed and the ankle ain't much better. But there is progress. Wow, Arlene. Heal up, my friend. Same with you, Jim. Get better.
Y'all got to stop doing that stuff.
Jim's injury, he had a picture and it says you have to click to uncensor the picture. I'm like, scroll up. I don't want to see it.
The picture really is not that bad. It probably looked a hell of a lot worse when he first did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like the human body shouldn't have a hole in it.
Well, not there.
Well, right. It shouldn't have holes where there aren't supposed to be holes.
That's right. There are some appropriate ones, but you don't want those to heal up. Well, I think we probably need to do us a giveaway, don't you think?
Hey, we can do that. Sure.
You want to give the spiel?
I'll give the spiel. Okay, folks, this is how we're doing it. If you're behind time, make sure because we all have to do something at the same time. So drag that playhead on YouTube all the way to the right. Brenda has written down a number on a piece of paper. You are to guess that number after she says go, and guess one time only. Whoever guesses the number exactly will win. What does the winner get? They get one of 4 prizes that Brenda will announce after we pick the winner, and she will mail you the prize, and she will mail it for free anywhere in the lower 48 states of the United States. If you're outside of that location, you can pay shipping because that's a little too expensive. Or if you don't want to pay the shipping, you can re-gift it to someone else in the chat. So everyone can play. And there's a bonus, because when she writes down the number, she's not going to write it in digits. She's going to write out the letters of the number. She's going to write words of what the number is. And she knows me with my publishing background that punctuation is very important to me. So just to mess with my sanity, which she loves to do, she is going to go ape shit crazy with the capitalization. So your bonus guess is to guess how many letters she has capitalized when she wrote out the word. And the word's going to be the number, that's the secret number that you're going to try and guess.
Now the number is between 52 and 61. 52 and 61.
All right, we are
ready.
Ready. Yep.
Go.
Okay. Make your guess. Pick a number between 52 and 61. And then on your same guess, put a slash and put another number of how many capitals you think she has. And only guess once.
Got a winner.
We have a winner already.
Arlene won.
Arlene, congratulations. 57 and 4 is the number of, you did not get the number of capitals correct. You did not win the bonus prize, Arlene, but congratulations, you won. Excellent. So this is why it's important, folks, to make sure you're not behind time, that you're actually current with the live stream.
Now,
thank you, Russ. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Chris, for playing along.
The 4 items, the first one of the 4 is one of the necklaces that I make. I call these the charm necklaces. They have little stones and charms and things hanging off of them. They're made of leather and chain. So I have one of those in a pink leather. And I have choice out on the paracord bracelets. I've got the smaller one if you have a small wrist, or a larger one if you have a large wrist, and these buckle with the plastic buckles. I have one of my dragon's eye pendants done on a cabochon. Then I have the little wooden box that I decorated, painted and decorated it. And it's painted on the inside, little treasure chest to keep your little treasures in. So, Arlene, which of those would you like?
Chris says that the wife loved the eyeball that he won recently.
Well, good. I'm glad she liked it.
And I love my eyeball that I won.
Yeah.
I was regifted a item from you. So that was nice.
Take the shrunken head. Arlene is she says she wants the eye. Okay. The eye for Arlene.
Excellent. Congratulations. Just get your mailing address to brenda.gibson@gmail.com.
Or she can hit me up on Messenger. She's on Messenger.
Okay.
And yeah, if you'd send that to me again, please, so I don't have to dig for it, that'd be great.
Yay. Happy. Whoops.
The shrunken head must have been won already. I've got some clay. I can make some shrunken heads. Hang them off your rearview mirror.
I got some Super Sculpey. I keep saying I'm gonna get to it, and I keep not getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Super Sculpey.
Yeah, that's like me with all my chores and stuff. You know, I'll tell myself, now, tomorrow I need to do this, and this. Well, by the time I get the first 2 or 3 out of the way, then I'm like, I need a nap. And then it ends up just not getting done. I'm like, well, tomorrow's another day. But eventually, I've got to get with it here. It's going to start getting hot.
I kind of burned through all the series I'm watching on HBO Max and on Netflix. So I just try and keep myself busy. Play the piano, take my course. I'm taking a music theory course. I put the cistern up. I have a rain barrel, I guess is what you call it, off the shed. I have a 10 by 10 shed. And I put rain gutters on them. It didn't have rain gutters. And then I put the rain gutters into a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
I did it up nice. I have screen, like no bugs can get in. So there's no mosquitoes, because that's where they breed in stagnant water. None of that. And during the winter, I take it away, and I have different rain shoots that are configured to go into a PVC in the ground,
Yeah.
and then that takes the water out to the streets. So, and the rain barrel has an overflow into that too. So it's like the Roman aqueduct. There's all these pipings going all the different ways on the back side of my shed, and it's pretty sophisticated. But I get free rainwater to water the flowers or do whatever I want. If I usually grow grass in spots that have damage from the previous summer, and free water. Not only is it free, it doesn't have the chemicals from the city, so it's better for the plants.
Matt Karcher over on Off the Ranch did a system for his chicken house. He built a chicken coop. They got, I don't know, half a dozen or so chickens. He built this really nice, really pretty chicken coop. And then he decided he wanted automatic water. And so he put the gutters on and all that and runs them in, I think it's 3 barrels on the inside. It's a closed off inside, so the chickens aren't trying to roost on them. And then that runs out into it's one of those nipple drip systems, so the bird has to peck at the little nipple to get the water out of it. And it keeps his birds watered all times. Got an overflow on it. If all 3 barrels get full, it'll overflow out into the yard. And he checks on it periodically. He'll put it in his videos, checking on the system, make sure it's right. He's had to do a few modifications to it since he put it in, getting the trying to think of what it's called, where they tilt it a little bit, to get the water to run just right, getting that set up so that it runs the way he wanted it to run. And at first he didn't have them closed off, so the chickens were wanting to roost on the barrels, and so he had to go get some plywood and build a little wall with a door in it there, to keep the barrels from getting nasty from the chickens. But he managed to fix it up really nice, and chickens have a nice automatic watering system out there, and they can go on trips or whatever, and birds always have plenty of water.
Very nice, very nice. Dave Hart says it's illegal in the township to have them. I checked the code, and we can have them if you mitigate the chance of mosquitoes, which I did. So, well,
here it's not illegal because they've got the gal that runs the recycling center giving a class, I think next week or the week after, on how to make a rain barrel.
Nice. Hey, Nana's Cooking Craft Corners here, and she says, you look good, Brenda, like you lost a lot of weight.
Well, bless your heart. About time somebody noticed.
Oh, and Arlene has an ordinance as well. Man, doesn't that suck?
Yeah, there's some places where they make it illegal for you to do things like that, and I think it's just foolish. They want you to conserve water, but don't put it in a rain barrel. I mean,
no, that's nuts. Well, back when London burned to the ground, this was hundreds of years ago. They had an ordinance where everyone had to have a big barrel of water to help with fire prevention, and then it was infested with mosquitoes, and then it made a whole plague. Like, one solution caused a whole other problem. They're like, okay, we got to rethink this now. It's funny what happens back in history. They figure out.
Yeah,
if
Jim
we
says,
encourage rain collection where Jim Bashir's is, it helps keep water out of the sewer system. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, now hold on, because the runoff from the street shouldn't go into the sewer. That should make it out to the waterway. Only like flushed items in your house go into the water treatment. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, here, now I don't know if they got it fixed yet or not, but here we have periodic flooding where the Salmonone River out here will flood the town. And so it's going to get into the sewer system here.
Right.
The runoff from the river is coming to the sewer system. But it hasn't done that in about 3 years. So hopefully they got that fixed now. But yeah, It
Chris,
would periodically.
he set me straight. Thank you. I get it. I get it now.
Yeah, it would periodically flood the town, make a
Now,
mess.
what they really frown upon is if people have a sump well and the pump ejects into the sewer, like where your toilet flows. Every newsletter, because everyone in our township gets a newsletter and, town happenings and new hired this fireman or whatever. They always rail about it. They're like, if your sump pump ejects into the treated water system, you're in big trouble. Now mine goes out to the street and just empties and that's allowed because the street doesn't make it into the treated anyway. Oh, municipal talk. Isn't it fun, Brenda?
I was watching a video last night where a guy was talking about building a house. He bought a piece of property out in the country. He's building a house and it's going to have a well and a septic system put on it. And he was saying that once he gets this put in and it's inspected and everything, that then they come back every 10 years and inspect it again. It's the first I'd ever heard of anything like that. And I've lived in the country up until I moved here. Ohio and Indiana, and that was new to me. I thought, yeah, that's part of some apparently of their new pollution control or something, and they're going to be policing everything you do, even out in the country with your well and your septic. If it's put in right, should never have to have anything inspected on it again.
Yeah. My friend Javi had a well put out on his property. He has a property in Florida next to a lake. And he's going to build a house on this property. And he had guys come in and drill him a big well. So he has fresh water.
And Jim Bashir's is saying, we will pay to disconnect a pump for homeowners and the first 200 or the first 2,500 to repair or replace a home sewer. See, my folks bought a place that was built back in the 1900s, and so it just always had a pump house. You go outside to the pump house and pump your water out there and carry it in a bucket to the house. Well, then when wells went in, which, gosh, I don't know, this was probably in the 40s. It had the well put in, and my dad had to have the well replaced in the early 60s. And it never had to have anything done to the well ever again. The septic system had been there ever since plumbing went in the house. Never had to have anything done to the septic system. So if it's done right, it should never have to be inspected or messed with again.
That's good.
But now they make everything so that it has to be replaced, made for obsolescence.
Yeah. My first house had city water, of course, but it also had a well. And the well was only connected to the outside hose spigots. So it was free grass watering and free car washing and free whatever else we wanted to do with. And then the house had a pool. We'd fill the pool up with the well water.
Yeah. And
the real estate agent says, I hope that equipment never breaks because it's expensive to replace it. But it never failed. Just always, it did the job.
And Dave Hart says they have to have an inspection on their pumps every 3 years. Good Lord, that drive me nuts. And Jim says we did the smoke testing, but it's expensive because I was talking about smoke testing up there, testing drains for illegal storm connections or sump connections.
Oh, gotcha.
So them people pull in on me and I'd be out there chasing them with a shotgun, calling them revenuers.
Oh, they have Lake Michigan water. It's dirt cheap. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's also dirt, isn't it? From what I understand. The water isn't very good quality. From what I understand.
Oh.
Unless I've been misled.
I don't know much about that. Oh my goodness.
Well, what exciting things? I'm going to just live vicariously through you. What exciting things have you got planned for the weekend?
I'm going to finally get into the shop and build my damn movie poster sound absorbing panels. So I bought a fabric company will print any design on fabric. So I had 2 movie posters printed on fabric, and I have the insulation. I think it's called rock wall insulation. That's just for soundproofing. So I have a big $50 spool of this stuff, and that's going to go on the inside. So and hopefully I will build an Instructable about it as well. So I'll not only make a woodshop item, I'll do a how-to Instructable on instructables.com. That's what I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Well, I don't know if Robert's still in here or not from Sha La La, but I watched their premiere. Not when they aired it, but later I had to go back and watch it. And I was impressed. He runs really well.
Yeah, Robert on this channel has a fun video where he did a collab. He did some green screen shenanigans where he was running through all different landmarks across the United States. It's fun.
He ran for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, just a running.
Yeah, that video is doing really good for him, and it's doing good for the girls that he collabed with, and yeah.
He silenced you.
Siri silenced me. Yeah.
Alexa. It was Alexa, shut him up.
You're not supposed to say that word because now everyone's device just woke up.
Good. Hey, Google.
It's okay, Google.
I got one of them Hey Google phones, and I'll be laying at night. I can't sleep. I'll be laying there and I'll be thinking about things, and I'll think, I wonder how that works. And I think, well, I'll just ask Google. And so I'll holler for Google, and he won't answer me. And I'll holler, and I'll holler, and I'll holler. I finally have to pick up the phone and tap on the screen. And I thought, I might as well just be married to this thing.
Oh, Jim Dockrell just showed up.
Hello, brother from another mother.
Green screen is a lot of fun, says Nana. Yep.
I can remember back when I was married, and you're laying there at night and you're thinking about something, and you think, well, I'll just ask him and see what he thinks about it. And so, he said, Jim. Hey, Jim, you awake? And you're, Jim!
Oh my gosh. The NDT show is here. Hi, the NDT show.
Good to see you, Nathan. Hope everything's going well down there in the southern United States, down there in the Tennessee Valley. I do that to my sister. She has 2 Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, and Cortana. And I can choose how I annoy her.
Oh, my.
Well, remember that one night that I had Google playing Ozzy's Crazy Train for everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got to be careful with that because I know you think it's funny, but you're annoying all of your viewers.
Hey, I annoy everybody all the time. That it's just my trademark. It's just the way I am. I've always been that way. People
should know what they get with you.
Even when I was in school, I was always annoying. Whether the teacher, the principal never wanted me in his office because I was just the most annoying kid he'd ever seen in his life.
Oh, Mel just showed up. He says, I'm here at the end. Yeah, we're not going to stay on much longer. Good to have you here, Mel.
Good to see you, Mel. Hope everything's going well up there. And gosh, I'm trying to think. Is it Brooklyn? Did I get that right?
No sleep till Brooklyn.
Because I get them all confused since I've never been there. There are all those boroughs that's up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's in one of those boroughs up there. He's burrowed in.
Brooklyn, Manhattan, Long Island, something else and something else. East Tennessee was gorgeous today, says Arlene. Good. Good.
But yeah, I was always the most annoying kid. And
he confirmed it's Brooklyn. Yep.
Nice. Having friends in school, I went through friends like corn through a duck. It was just they couldn't take me in large doses.
Well, I don't doubt that. Luana Pierce is here. Hi, Luana.
Hey, yes, you are late. She's like that white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. Late. She's late for a very important date.
Dave Hart knows what's up. He says, nice Beastie Boys reference. Yeah, you know it. That was big when I was in high school. Got to fight for your right to party. That poor bit. They were so sick of singing that song. Every concert, they would have to do that song. And they just got so annoyed with that song because it was a good song. Yeah. People wanted to hear it, but they got tired of playing.
I think, though, that happens with a lot of the artists. They get a hit and then they have to just sing the heck out of it.
Yeah. I guess that's a good problem to have, but
yeah. The more you sing it, the more money rolls in.
Yeah. Although I'm learning an instrument, I have no aspirations for stage performances.
Well, they say the money can buy happiness. Well, I'd sure as hell like to find out.
Hey, money makes things a lot easier.
Well, it makes some things a lot easier, and I'm sure it makes some things a lot harder too. But I would trade the problems I have today for the problems that I would have.
It may not buy happiness, but it sure as heck makes problems go away.
Yeah, some, and it makes some come.
Well, it could. But some people they have a $2,000 expenditure, and it's harsh. Like if you can get to the point where you can swallow that and move on, it's a whole new world.
In this lifetime, I want the day to come where I don't have to look at price tags. I don't have to ask how much is it. If it's something that I want, I just say, yeah.
They said in 2020 there were 677 more billionaires in this world. There's somewhere like 2,500 billionaires. Out of all the people in the world, about 2,500 people are billionaires.
And the increase is contributed to
the wealthy getting wealthier. I don't know.
Investments?
Yeah.
Or corporate.
The more you have, the more you earn.
Corporate.
The more you have, the more your money earns for you. But yeah.
And corporate under the table business.
You know what's messed up? Of course, Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, is right up there. You know who's also in the top 100 wealthiest? His wife that divorced him. She got so much money. She's on the list.
Well, see, she married well.
I think Bezos has $177 billion, and his wife has $46 billion. This is with a B. I know a billion sounds an awful lot like a million. It is so much more than a million. It is so much more than a million.
Well, Mel says, you don't have to look at the price tag, Brenda, but they may chase you out of the store. They would now, because broke person coming in there saying something like that. I'm talking about, that there's money to cover it. Whatever it is you want, you just don't even have to think about it.
Arlene says, I go to the dollar store. I think, wow, I could buy anything here.
Yeah.
$1 bill, y'all.
Make it rain at Dollar General.
Oh.
Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and Family Dollar all out here in town. I don't have to go more than a mile to get to any of them. Family
Oh.
Dollar is just 2 blocks from the house.
Yeah. Dollar General and Dollar Tree. That's another one.
Well, Dollar
Now,
Tree, we don't have one of those here in town.
do,
Yeah, wait, Dollar Tree we have, and we got Dollar General, and we got Family Dollar. What's the other one? There's another dollar store that we
I was
don't
going to
have.
talk about the hoity-toity version, which is Five Below.
That's the one. They got one of them in Muncie.
Yeah. Now,
It's
Five
just a
Below doesn't
couple-
have food, I don't believe.
No,
But
it's just a couple blocks from where I get my nails done. But I've never been impressed with anything in their store. I've been in there 2 or 3 times, and
see,
all right.
Five Below, when I got my Gmail address and I signed up for Five Below's mailing list because I just wanted a junk throwaway email. And I'm like, oh, Gmail is wonderful. I'm going to transition my whole life. I'm like, oh, I signed up for that spam mailing. But that was the first thing I did with my Gmail address was anyway.
They used to have a place called Only a Dollar.
Oh.
Now, I loved going in that place. And they didn't have any price tags on anything in the store. So you'd always ask the clerk, how much is it? And she'd say, it's $1. And then you find something else. You say, well, how much is this? It's $1. And then something else. Everything in the store is $1.
Oh, yeah. Well, people go to the dollar store and they rate it for candy. Then they go to the movies and they don't buy the expensive movie theater stuff.
But yeah, that Five and Below store, I didn't see anything in there that I couldn't get cheaper, either at Dollar General or Dollar Tree or something.
Well, the whole point of Five Below is they'll have items that are $5 and $10. Like they'll have other price points, but it's always like that. You can buy a watch.
$4.99.
You can buy a watch for $15 at Five Below, or some higher end electronics. They'll have like MP3 players and things like that. Like you can't get an MP3 player at the dollar store. There's just no way to make them that cheap.
No, I'm just talking, your everyday run of the mill stuff, kitchen gadgets or this, that, or the other. I could always get it cheaper if I went to Dollar General or someplace. The problem with Dollar General is that it's always sloppy in there. People don't take care of nothing. They'll pull the clothes off of the hangers and leave them in the floor, and the poor clerks, they'll just have one working in there at a time. She's trying to run the registers like Lucy in the candy factory, running back and forth, trying to work on a shelf and then trying to check somebody out and all that. So you can't expect they're going to be, keeping things up in there. So that's the problem I have with Dollar Generals. It's just always so messy. And then at Family Dollar, it seems like they got the aisles so narrow. I feel like the shelves are going to cave in on me when I'm going down through the aisles because everything's stocked. Everything's packed to the max in them shelves. There's no room for error.
Yeah.
And nobody.
There was 99-cent Dream Store.
Yeah,
they're trying to undercut Dollar General by a penny.
Yeah. But there's one way. Nobody's coming at you on those miles because there ain't going to be no passing.
Oh my goodness.
Dollar Tree's a great place for gift bags and cards and wrapping paper, says Dave Hart.
There's whole YouTube channels on what to buy at Dollar Tree to resell on eBay for a markup.
Yeah.
Like like they could have like an adjustable wrench for $1. And you could sell it for $3 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people that will shop at Goodwill too, and then sell stuff on eBay. They look for name brands, designer labels and stuff, and they'll sell it over on eBay.
They have an Ollie's Bargain Outlets around here. And I knew the owner of that, and he was way rich. But they buy unclaimed freight. So a big truck full of goods shows up somewhere and they're like, we didn't order this, and it just goes unclaimed. And there's a whole industry about this, and they'll get huge truckloads of everything, woodworking clamps, clothing, kitchen items, food, you name it. And I get the flyer, and they mail you the flyer, and it's usually nothing I'm interested in, but now they have spray paint for $2.99 each, and they have the Gildan t-shirts, the nice cotton t-shirts, no logos, they're just solid colors, for $1.99 each. And those things are like $7.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get some plain colored t-shirts with the brand that I like. I'm going to stock up on spray paint. Spray paint's like $8 a can, $5, $6, $7, $8 a can.
Yeah.
So I'll take that all day long.
Oh,
shelves, they had plastic shelves, utility shelves for the garage. I bought a whole case of them because they were like $50 each regularly, 120. Anyway.
Yeah, and there's people that go to garage sales and buy stuff and resell it on the internet. And
that's the big money there, because the people don't know what it's worth. They just want to get rid of it. That's gold, those garage sales. But you got to get up at the crack of dawn, and you got to have cash. Everything's cash in that business. And it helps if you know what it can retail for. People who have expert knowledge make out. Some buy electronics, some buy toys. We had people selling all Evan's baby toys, and the guy knew. He's like, this truck came with a boat that went on the back of the flatbed. Do you have the boat? I'm like, how did you know that? He's a toy expert. He was looking to resell, and it was the set. He wanted the set. I'm like, no, we don't have the boat anymore. It's just the truck. So he passed on that. Yeah. That's how you do it. And make no mistake, you can earn big time bucks doing that.
Yeah, the one guy I saw a video on where he was buying DVDs, and he could resell them on the internet. And shoes, if they were like Nikes or Converse, I guess, whatever the name brands of the fancy shoes and stuff are, he could resell those if they were in real good shape. And some dolls, if you know what you're looking for, and he would just buy a whole bunch of stuff at one garage sale, and so they cut him a really good deal because he's hauling off half the stuff. It's more stuff they don't have to pack back into the house again, try to figure out what to do with. And he then showed his garage, and he had his garage made into a warehouse, and everything was numbered and cataloged, so that if somebody bought something, then right in the description of it, it had what the catalog number was, and he could go right straight to the shelf and pull it right off of there.
That's good. He's got to have a system. Have a system for that.
He had everything streamlined.
Dave says Ollie's has good woodworking books, and they buy carpet remnants there. And then Luana says Big Lots is what they have.
Yeah, that's what's here in Richmond.
One of my old friends, which I see every couple of years, he is in that business too, but he just runs it himself, and he's an auctioneer, and he'll take some of but it's the same business. He gets the unclaimed freight. That's an interesting guy. Like, we went to a party once, and he was to bring the snacks. He brought cases of potato chips and pretzels and some other kind of something, because he bought it on one of these unclaimed, and it was still, the expiration date wasn't met yet. It were still good stuff, but there was like 15 people there, and there were 20 bags of chips, 20 bags of I was like, where did you get all of this stuff? And he started telling me about what he was doing. I was like, yeah, that is a crazy world you live in. Crazy world.
Yeah.
He bought coffee beans, unroasted raw coffee beans off out of the field in wherever the hell they grow them, because you got to be on the equator. And then his whole scheme was he was going to find someone to roast them, and he was going to find someone to package them, and he was going to sell his own brand of coffee. And it went nowhere. He has so much coffee, he doesn't know what to do with it.
Dave Hart says you can buy pallets of return merchandise from Amazon. I've seen some of those videos.
I've seen those too. That's risky, because you got to pay like $3,000 for those pallets, and hopefully
some of that's
$10,000 in return for them.
Some of that stuff that gets returned is broken. You know,
a lot of it's just they opened the box wrong color, or I don't want it. You know, they just return it.
Yeah. But some of it's broken, so, you know, there's going to be a certain amount of loss on it. Luanna says, we have Collingswood auction really swamped at Christmas time. So, and a friend of mine years ago, he's since departed now, but he had a deal with an insurance company that insured semis. And he sold pet store type stuff. Animal cages and pet beds and, you know, all that kind of stuff, toys and what have you for animals. And every once in a while, a semi jackknife that was full of pet store stuff, and he would buy the wrecked load from the insurance company.
Nice. Nice.
And then take it around to the swap meets and sell stuff that he'd gotten from the truckload sale. So, you know, there's all kinds of ways to do that resale thing. I mean, I'm totally out of the box now. I don't have a van anymore. There's a limit to what you can haul either out of them stores or, you know, from an auction or anything when you're driving a Beetle. You know, that debacle last summer really put me out of the box entirely.
It's a legitimate way to make a business, and
but you have to.
Isn't that the very definition of business? Buy low, sell higher. I mean,
yeah, but you have to have the right kind of equipment in order to be able to do stuff like that. You know, you have to have something that you're able to haul the stuff in, and you know, I'm out of the box immediately with that.
Dave Hart says your friend sounds like Kramer from Seinfeld when he hired Cubans to roll cigars in New York.
What, the guy with the pet store stuff? No, he was.
No, my guy who buys the.
That fella.
Yeah. Crazy.
Now the guy I was talking about, he's just a little old man, but you know, he was savvy when it came to that kind of thing. And says I get my Duracell batteries in bulk from Amazon. When someone in the store steals 2 batteries out of the pack, the rest can't be sold in the store. All those orphans get boxed and sold cheap.
Oh,
well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we've been on here about an hour and 17 minutes. Probably about time to cut them loose. Yep. And I'll have a heifer haven going up later tonight with some free advice for everybody. I know how they love free advice. What you doing?
Am I doing tonight?
No, what are you doing, YouTuber?
I've got my live show on All Things YouTube every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I will be on KC Anybody Listening live at 7:45 Eastern. Do I have I don't have the link. I'm not going to be able to get it. It's weird. I have to first go into YouTube Studio. And then when I'm in YouTube Studio, then I can flip the account to KC Anybody Listening. There it is. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then when I'm there, I have to view a video. This is insane. And then once I'm viewing the video on the play page, then I can find the front page of YouTube, the channel page, and then I can paste it. Okay, there we go. Oh my God.
Luann says, is that 7:45 a.m. or p.m.?
p.m. 7:45 p.m. Friday, tomorrow. Casey, and I just dropped the link in the chat. There are 8 whole subscribers on that channel. So if anyone wants to press this button on the link I just put in the chat, that would help a lot. And Brenda would be happy too, I think.
Yeah, I think you're going to need some people. You need to get them over to my spreadsheet. Talk to them about the spreadsheet and get them over there.
Oh yeah, I could put that. I'll put that in right now.
Saturday night, I plan to be on Russell Clarity's Simply Wooden Creations at 8 p.m. I think he's having a show, as far as I know, and I'll be on the panel. Jim, if you're still out there, if you know if he's having a show or not, you might put it in the chat there. But Simply Wooden Creations, 8 p.m. Saturday night. That's Eastern time. And but you need to tell your KCS people to get on the spreadsheet.
Okay. We'll get them on there. Casey, that's Sandy Archer and myself co-host that. And we're still figuring out what the show is, but it's entertainment, nightlife, pop culture, that type of thing. And it's supposed to be focused around Kansas City, but we're kind of morphing it away from that. We have to think of an acronym for KS. What can KS stand for besides or KC? I'm sorry, did I say KS? KC, anybody listening? KC. We need an acronym for KC.
Keep calm.
We'll take it. What is KCS? It's KC, and it stands for Kansas City. Anybody listening live. But she's going to move to Florida, but she's going to keep the name KC. Anybody listening live, and we'll have to think of something for KC. So we're thinking about it.
Keep calm. Well, that being said, I'm going to let everybody go, and we will see y'all back here, Lord willing, next Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And don't anybody do what I wouldn't do.